Chapter 6. Practice. Number 1. Listen to a principal making an announcement in school.
Good morning, students. Next month, we'll be having an open class day here at Hamilton Junior High. This will be different than Parents' Day. Any family member, grandmother, uncle, cousin, will be able to come and view your classes in action. We are having open class day so that more people can see how we run the school and what kind of learning environment we have here.
What is the purpose of this announcement? Number 2. Listen to a principal making an announcement in school.
Attention all students. Lately, the school janitors have been finding snack wrappers in the school hallways. They have asked me to remind you that students are not allowed to eat snacks inside the school. This includes all classrooms and hallways. The cafeteria is the only exception to this rule. Students may eat snacks there. Of course, students may also eat snacks outside, providing that all garbage is disposed of properly. Thank you.
Why is the principal talking about snacks? Number 3. Listen to a teacher talking in a PE class.
Attention please, the new school tennis courts are now ready for use. Of course, students will use them during PE classes and during lunch breaks. We have also decided to allow students to use them after school and on weekends. However, if you do, please make sure you take good care of them. If the courts are misused, we'll simply take down the nets and lock the gate, and no one will be able to use them.
What is the purpose of the announcement? Number 4. Listen to a teacher talking to a class.
Before you go, Principal Hicks has asked teachers to make an announcement. You have probably noticed some new garbage cans around the school. They're color-coded for different materials, such as metal, plastic, and paper, so that we can recycle those materials. Please read the instructions on the garbage cans before you put anything in them. I'm sure you will quickly memorize the colors and get used to the system.
What is probably true about the school? Questions 5 through 8. Listen to a conversation between a student and her teacher.
Mr. Greggs, could I have a talk with you about something? I kind of have a problem.
Of course you can, Carol. What's up?
Well, my mom and dad were talking last weekend, and they decided that we're going to take a big family trip. I guess it will last for about 3 months.
Wow, that sounds incredible. I bet you're really excited. Where are you going to go?
Actually, we're going to travel all around the world. It's been my parents' dream for a long time, and they've been thinking about it since I was little. I guess they think now is the best time to go.
Well, that sounds just amazing. It is a journey that few people get to make, and I have to say that I'm a little jealous, seeing all that wonderful art and architecture. So what's the problem then?
It's just that I'm a little worried about falling behind in my studies. My dad said not to worry because I can catch up when I get back. But what if I fall too far behind? I don't want to repeat the whole year.
Well, okay, I have an idea. I'll tell you exactly what we are going to cover in the textbook and all about the classwork we'll be doing over the next 3 months. If you have any questions, you can email me and I'll get back to you. How's that?
That would be really great.
Now answer the questions. Number 5. Why do the girls' parents want to travel around the world? Number 6. Why is the girl worried about the trip? Number 7. What does the teacher imply about classwork? Number 8. How does the girl probably feel when she says,
I'm a little worried about falling behind in my studies. My dad said not to worry because I can catch up when I get back. But what if I fall too far behind?
Questions 9 through 12. Listen to a conversation between a student and a school nurse.
Hello, young man. You certainly look happy and healthy today. What brings you here?
Actually, I'm not here for me. It's my friend. He's been acting a little strange recently.
Okay, tell me more. What do you mean?
Well, for one thing, he started wearing sunglasses everywhere, even inside.
Well, sometimes students do odd things to get attention.
But there's more. Sometimes I talk to him and he doesn't hear me. Other times we're walking and he bumps into something and almost falls over. I'm a little worried about him.
Is there anything else that you can tell me?
He threw up on the way home yesterday.
How long exactly has your friend been acting strange?
I guess it's been 3 or 4 days.
Please think carefully about this because it could be very important. Has your friend had an accident of any sort in the past few days?
Well, yeah, I guess. He was hit pretty hard the other day when we were playing soccer. He got kicked in the head, and it took him a minute or two before he came around.
Oh my, it sounds like a concussion. Why didn't you bring him here? A concussion can be quite serious.
Oh, it was the weekend and we were at the park. He said he was fine.
Now answer the questions. Number 9. What does the boy imply when he says,
Well, for one thing, he started wearing sunglasses everywhere, even inside.
Number 10. What does the nurse imply about the accident? Number 11. What happened to the boy's friend yesterday? Number 12. Why did the boy not take his friend to see the school nurse? Questions 13 through 16. Listen to a conversation between a boy and his teacher.
Mrs. Jones, what on earth are you doing out here?
I vacation here every summer with my husband. These lakes are just so incredibly beautiful. My family has a summer house that we share. What about you, Justin? Have you ever been here before?
No, I haven't. This is my first time, and I have to say that I'm really surprised to see you.
Yes, it's quite a coincidence. I bet you're tired of seeing me after all the time we spent together at school.
Actually, not at all. I really enjoy studying in your class. Honest.
Well, it's nice of you to say so, Justin. Are you here with family?
Yes, Mom is at our cottage with my sister, and my dad and my grandpa are getting the fishing equipment from our car. We're just about to go fishing on the lake. I'm not sure about fishing, but I guess I'll try it.
You might surprise yourself and like it. My husband is fishing right now. He's not very good at it, but he does seem to like it. There he is.
Wait a second. Isn't that Mr. Jones who teaches geography?
Why, yes, it is. Didn't you know? He's my husband.
No, I didn't know that. I mean, I know you both have the same name, but Jones is such a common name that I never really thought anything about it.
Well, now you know. So now you have to spend your vacation time next door to 2 teachers.
Now answer the questions. Number 13. Why is Mrs. Jones at the lake? Number 14. What does the boy imply when he says,
I'm not sure about fishing, but I guess I'll try it.
Number 15. What can be inferred about Mr. and Mrs. Jones? Number 16. Why did the boy not think Mr. and Mrs. Jones are married? Questions 17 through 20. Listen to a teacher talking in a social studies class.
Okay, class. We've been talking about different cultures around the world and the importance of music and dance in those cultures. Yesterday, we talked about some American Indian tribes. Remember, they danced to honor their ancestral spirits. But let's go across the Atlantic Ocean now to Europe. I want to talk about the importance of another kind of dancing, flamenco. Flamenco dancing is a very dramatic kind of dance that involves singing, stamping feet, and clapping hands. It originated in the south of Spain over 5 centuries ago. Up until that time, Spain had been a country filled with many different peoples and cultures. Moors, Jews, Christians, and Gypsies all lived together peacefully. But then, starting in 1492, the Christian Queen of Spain, Isabella I, forced the Moors and Jews to leave the country. She also made sure that the Gypsies living in Spain weren't allowed to mix with the Christians. So, as a rule, the Gypsies were treated very poorly in Spain. Isabella felt that it was her Christian duty to change the language and customs of the Gypsies, whom she viewed as strange and uncivilized. This made life very hard for the Gypsies, so they expressed their suffering in the lyrics, music, and dance of flamenco. It is no surprise that many flamenco songs are about hunger, going to prison, and poor working conditions. Flamenco survived in gypsy towns until the 1780s. At that time, the new Spanish king, Charles III, gave gypsies more freedom. So, gypsies were allowed to perform flamenco in public. The Spanish people quickly became interested in flamenco and started performing it themselves. Although flamenco evolved and expanded into many different styles, it has remained a way to express emotions, particularly sadness and longing.
Now answer the questions. Number 17. What is the purpose of the talk? Number 18. What does the teacher imply when she says,
Remember, they danced to honor their ancestral spirits.
Number 19. What can be inferred about Queen Isabella I? Number 20. What allowed the Gypsies to perform flamenco dancing in public? Questions 21 through 24. Listen to a discussion in a science class.
As the world faces challenges like global warming and other environmental problems, new solutions become more urgent. But should we just try to invent new technologies and machines to solve these problems? Some scientists say no. They think we should look to nature. Many of the answers we are looking for may already exist in nature. Let's take an example of this. I want to talk about the hemp plant.
Wait a second, hemp? But that's where the drug marijuana comes from, isn't it?
No, not exactly. Hemp and marijuana come from two different plants that belong to the same family. Only the marijuana plant is used to produce drugs. The hemp plant, on the other hand, actually has many beneficial uses. To begin with, hemp can be used to make a healthy food since it is high in protein, minerals, and dietary fibers. Also, hemp is the only plant on the planet that has all the fatty and amino acids the human body needs.
Wow, that's kind of impressive.
It is, and that's just the beginning. Hemp is also excellent for making paper, since the plant grows much faster than trees. And paper made from hemp won't turn yellow as it ages. Along with paper, hemp can also be used to make ropes, carpets, and even clothes.
Clothes can be made from hemp?
That's right. Did you know that Levi jeans were originally made from hemp? And hemp can be used to make fuel and plastic too. In fact, in 1941, Henry Ford even made a car body using hemp and other plants. So, as you can see, there's virtually no limit to the ways that hemp can be used. And the best part about this is hemp is safe and natural, so it won't harm the environment.
Now answer the questions. Number 21. What is the purpose of the discussion? Number 22. What does the teacher imply about drugs in the discussion? Number 23. Why is hemp better for making paper than trees? Number 24. What does the teacher imply when he says,
Also, hemp is the only plant on the planet that has all the fatty and amino acids the human body needs?
Practice. Number 1. Listen to a coach talking in a PE class.
We're going to practice dribbling today, so in a minute I will ask you all to grab a basketball. But first, let me go over some rules. Do not dribble while I'm talking, and if you hear my whistle, I want you to stop what you're doing. Also, do not sit on the basketballs and don't kick them around. Everybody understand? Okay, let's start.
What will the students probably do next? Number 2. Listen to a teacher talking in class.
Let's start the video. I want you to take good notes because you'll have a quiz on this later. Now, some of you have asked me if we can keep the lights on because you can't see what you're writing. That's okay with me. I will leave the lights on. But you may not be able to see the screen as well. Okay, is everyone ready?
What will the teacher probably do next? Number 3. Listen to a teacher talking in a math class.
Gloria, can you please quickly go around the class and collect everyone's homework? Thank you. All right, settle down. We're going to start your test now. Does anyone have any last-minute questions? No? Okay. Since you are not allowed to use calculators, I want you to put them in your book bags. I'll give you a couple of seconds to do that. And then I'll pass out the tests.
What will the students probably do next? Number 4. Listen to a teacher talking in a science class.
I want to show you this experiment, but I've forgotten to bring a beaker. Susie, can you please run to the science lab and get me a beaker? They should be on the shelf next to the refrigerator. While Susie is doing that, I'll explain the experiment. Listen closely because you are going to do this same experiment in a few minutes.
What will the teacher probably do next? Questions 5 and 6. Listen to a conversation between two friends at school.
Hey, Janet, I really hate to ask you this, but can I borrow $3? I was running late this morning and I totally forgot to get lunch money from my mom. I promise I'll pay you back tomorrow.
Oh, I wish I could, but I didn't bring any money either. We're having a pizza party in our photography club today, so I didn't bother to bring any lunch money.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. I can ask someone else.
Wait, I can ask my sister. She always has a few dollars, and I'm meeting her at her locker after the first period. I'll just pay her back when I get home.
Really? Thanks so much. You're a lifesaver.
Now answer the questions. Number 5. Why does the boy need to borrow money? Number 6. What will the girl probably do after the first period? Questions 7 and 8. Listen to a conversation between two siblings.
Hey, Leslie, did you hear the news? Uncle John is getting married in Hawaii next month. Our family has been talking about vacationing in Hawaii for ages. We finally get to go.
Wait, did Mom and Dad actually say we're going to Uncle John's wedding?
Well, no, but I'm sure we'll go. I talked to Mom about it last night, and she said if Dad can get time off work, we'll all go.
Don't get your hopes up, Dexter. I'm going to ask him tonight, but I know his schedule is crazy. He might not be able to get away from work, and I don't think Mom will want to go to Hawaii without him.
Now answer the questions. Number 7. Why is the boy happy? Number 8. What will the girl probably do tonight? Questions 9 and 10. Listen to a conversation between a girl and her father.
Dad, my friends are coming over to watch a movie tonight. Can you please take me to the video store?
Sure, sweetie. What movie are you going to watch?
We don't know yet. Do you have any suggestions?
I haven't seen a movie in a while, but I think your brother was watching Transformers on TV earlier. He seemed to be enjoying it.
Oh, Dad, you know I hate action movies. They don't have a plot, and they're only about blowing stuff up.
Well, I guess it's up to you then. Can you grab the keys on the dining table and meet me in the garage? I'm going to grab my jacket from upstairs.
Now answer the questions. Number 9. Why does the girl dislike action movies? Number 10. What will the girl probably do next? Questions 11 and 12. Listen to a conversation between a student and his teacher.
Hi, Ms. Johnson. I want to do the extra credit history assignment. Can you tell me about it?
Sure, Sam. Come in and have a seat. Okay, if you want extra credit, you will have to write an essay about World War II. You can, of course, use your textbook, but here is a list of other books that will help you. Do you have time to go to the library after school?
I have swimming lessons, but I guess I can stop by after lunch.
Okay, then. Let me give you the topics for the essay. Where is that paper? Here it is. As you can see, you have several different topics to choose from.
Now answer the questions. Number 11. What does the boy have to do to get extra credit? Number 12. What will the boy probably do after school? Questions 13 through 15. Listen to a teacher talking in a PE class.
Ben Johnson. Remember that name. I want to return to him in a few minutes and explain exactly what happened to Johnson. For now, let me just say that Johnson was the Canadian athlete who, in the 1988 Seoul Olympics, alerted the world to the widespread use of steroids in amateur athletics. Steroids are a synthetic male hormone. Synthetic means they are made in a lab, so they are not natural. Basically, what steroids do is build muscle quickly. So you can see how they might be useful to athletes like Johnson. Interestingly, steroids do have a medical purpose. They were developed in the 1930s and used a lot after World War II to help prisoners who had been in prison camps to put on weight. Today, only a few kinds of steroids are used legally by doctors. Unfortunately, most steroid use today is done illegally. The side effects of steroid use are well known. It can cause a number of physical problems, such as heart and liver disease, as well as kidney damage. But they are probably best known for the changes it causes to the personalities of steroids users. People who use a lot of steroids become anxious and get angry very easily. Surprisingly, despite these well-known side effects, many athletes still choose to use them. That brings us back to the 1988 Olympics in Seoul and what happened there.
Now answer the questions. Number 13. According to the teacher, why are steroids useful to athletes? Number 14. What is the best known side effect of steroids? Number 15. What will the teacher probably talk about next? Questions 16 and 17. Listen to a teacher talking in an English class.
Okay, you should be finished reading Dracula now. As you probably know, the novel has been made into a movie. Actually, it's been made into many movies. But today, we're going to watch part of the original movie, filmed in 1931. Then, at the end of class, we'll be able to compare the novel to the movie. Before we do that, let's talk a little about the author, Bram Stoker. Stoker was born in Dublin, Ireland in 1847. Bram was a sickly child and spent most of his time sick in bed until he turned 7. He eventually outgrew his physical weakness and became a strong athlete. In fact, he was a star soccer player at the University of Dublin, from which he graduated. After graduation, Stoker worked as a civil servant for about 10 years. One day, he met the stage actor Sir Henry Irving, and he quit his job to become Irving's manager. During this time, Stoker began to write. He started with short stories and eventually began to write novels. His first novel, called The Snake's Pass, was published in 1890, and like Dracula, it was a horror story. 7 years later, Stoker wrote his masterpiece, Dracula. As you know, it is in the form of journals written by some of the main characters. Stoker uses the journals very effectively to create suspense. Okay, questions? No? Close your books. We'll come back to them later. Someone get the lights, please.
Now answer the questions. Number 16. How did Stoker create suspense in Dracula? Number 17. What will the class probably do next? Questions 18 through 20. Listen to a teacher talking in an environmental science class.
A drought is defined as a period of time in which there is a lack of rainfall. Unfortunately, droughts can have a serious impact on agriculture and societies that depend on agriculture. There are 4 different kinds of droughts: unpredictable drought, permanent drought, seasonal drought, and invisible drought. Let's talk about each of those. As the name suggests, unpredictable droughts cannot be predicted. They happen when no one is expecting them. They usually happen in areas where there's a lot of regular rainfall. Unpredictable droughts don't usually happen over a very large area. However, because they are unexpected, they do a lot of damage to agriculture in those areas by causing large crop failures. The 1930s Dust Bowl in America is an example of an unpredictable drought. Permanent droughts, on the other hand, are predictable. They happen in areas that are known to be especially dry, like parts of East Africa. Because these areas are known to be dry, permanent droughts do not usually cause large crop failures, as long as there is enough water to irrigate crops. The third kind of drought is the seasonal drought. These happen in areas that have well-defined rainy and dry seasons. Many of these areas are near the equator, like the Indian subcontinent, Southeast Asia, and Central America. Agriculture can be successful in these areas if planting is timed so that crop growth happens during the rainy season. Any questions so far? Okay, that leaves just the invisible drought.
Now answer the questions. Number 18. Why do unpredictable droughts do a lot of damage to agriculture? Number 19. What must be done in order for agriculture to be successful in seasonal drought areas? Number 20. What will the teacher talk about next? Questions 21 and 22. Listen to part of a discussion in a history class.
Today I want to tell you about an important invention from the 19th century. I want you to listen closely because in tomorrow's class you will start doing research on an invention of your own choosing. Then next week you will write a presentation much like the one I'm going to give today. So tonight for homework, I want you to think of something that you would like to research and do a presentation on.
Does it have to be a modern invention? Or can it be something that is no longer around?
It can be on anything that is interesting to you. Any other questions? No? Okay, let me tell you about an invention that I like. The typewriter. With a lot of inventions, there is a specific date when that thing was invented. This is not true of the typewriter. In fact, there were many attempts at inventing a practical typewriter.
What do you mean by a practical typewriter?
Good question. By practical, I mean a typewriter that worked faster than a person could write. There were about 76 attempts to invent the typewriter. It wasn't until an American named Christopher Sholes finished his typewriter in 1867 that the first practical typewriter was invented. Sholes went on to make improvements to his typewriter. By the 1880s, he had produced a typewriter that would become very popular around the turn of the century.
Now answer the questions. Number 21. What will students do in class tomorrow? Number 22. What does the teacher mean by a practical typewriter?